Have you guys heard about a movie called Mickey 17? It came out in March. The movie is about this guy named Mickey who isn't happy with his life and becomes what they call an expendable. He dies over and over as they have his body put through these rather excruciating tasks or rather experiments. And a new version of Mickey is created as each one dies. Honestly, it's kind of warped. Here's a look at the trailer for you.
In the case of multiples,
It's just like,
we exterminate every individual.
tell me quick.
Let's blow up these secondhand baloney boys.
Why don't you guys do rock, paper, scissors, and then we'll just shoot the loser.
Tell me quick. Or another kick. Tell me quick. Another kick in the head.
Okay, so you might see some things that are really interesting in this movie, images of a movement happening, say, today from like the Red Hats. Those might look familiar. But the main character is played by Mark Ruffalo. Now, you may know him from movies like Date Night, The Avengers, or maybe because he was campaigning nonstop for Kamala Harris, and he made his hatred of Donald Trump very well known. But he plays what he calls a petty dictator. And in this scene, that petty dictator happens to get grazed by a bullet. Okay, could they be more obvious? Sounds like a quote from Chandler Bing in Friends. Could you be more obvious that you're trying to mock President Trump? Yeah, I guess not. By the way, I know that I started this by saying that it came out in March, and you probably, like me, never heard of it because the movie bombed. It literally was a box office bomb. Director of the movie, his name is Boon Joon-ho. He actually won an Oscar for Best Picture back in 2020 for his film Parasite. Now, why this all makes sense is the following. Back then, President Trump didn't speak very highly of the film.
By the way, how bad were the Academy Awards this year? Did you see it? And the winner is a movie from South Korea. What the hell was that all about? We got enough problems with South Korea with trade. On top of it, they give him the best movie of the year. Was it good? I don't know. You know, I'm looking for like, where, let's get Gone with the Wind. Can we get like Gone with the Wind back, please? Sunset Boulevard. So many great movies. The winner is from South Korea. I thought it was best foreign film, right?
So I mention all of this because it's kind of got a lot of people saying that this film, Mickey 17, might be a revenge film. The director, Boon Joon-ho, might be basing the movie less on the novel from 2022 of the same name and the villain more on Trump, right? This villain that Ruffalo plays, because it's not like the dictator in the book at all. So they go out and they spend all this money to make a movie that seems to mock Trump and the MAGA movement. It's pretty petty, if you ask me, in fact. Maybe that money could be funding their precious NPR or PBS or some other left-wing cause. Heck, maybe it could even be used to feed all the homeless people in Hollywood that they keep talking about. Got that, Gavin Newsom? Maybe that's an answer for your thing. But because it bombed, and because these subtle hints and the undercurrent clearly were about Trump and the MAGA movement, guess what? The trade media came running to its rescue, and it tried to gaslight us like we couldn't actually see it. Here's an article in Slate magazine. Now listen, this is the headline of it. Bong Joon-ho and Mark Ruffalo say Mickey 17 villain isn't based on Trump. Yeah, right. So after this movie won Best Film, Parasite, in 2020, President Trump declared himself displeased, and they go on to talk about how it clearly, just is a coincidence or whatever. But this is the problem. As much as they tried, not everyone in the media was in on the joke. Here's a headline from The Independent. It says, Mickey 17 is an absurdist, anti-capitalist, Trump-mocking masterpiece. Clearly, they didn't get the memo. Listen to this quote from Ruffalo himself. He says, Marshall, An empty suit with preposterous hairs is obsessed with being on TV, isn't religious, but uses religion to manipulate people and has his followers pledge their support by wearing red baseball caps. And then he says it has nothing to do with Trump. He's not mocking Trump. Really? Here's an interview that Ruffalo did where he talks about playing a petty dictator.
I play a petty dictator. At the time, we shot it 3 years ago, and I thought, this is over the top. At the time. And now I realize it's totally underplayed.
That's really like,
I made a documentary.
Yeah. A documentary. I mean, again, I just don't think that these people realize how stupid they think we are. It's so blatantly obvious what they're trying to do, and they almost mock us. But it got me thinking about current events because I wondered, okay, where is a film like this actually made? And guess what? It was made in the UK, all across the UK, primarily set on a set there in England, just a short trip right outside of London. And I started reflecting on this because President Trump has declared that he wants a 100% tariff on films made abroad. So maybe, I know the president said that that was an attempt to save Hollywood, but maybe that tariff is actually made to save us from watching garbage like this. Well, if you enjoyed this content, make sure to like this video, subscribe, and click the notification bell to get more.